Jai Hind students, we are continuing the chapter comparing quantities, and in the previous video you learned about increase percent, decrease percent, discount of an item, selling price, cost price of different items, profit percentage and loss percentage. Now we are going to study about sales tax. So let us watch a video now.
Hello there, I'm Miss Marks and this is my lazy assistant Snail. Well, and we welcome you all on the show Math for Juniors. So, let's zoom into the world of numbers. Why are you looking upset, Snail?
Oh, I'm very upset. The shopkeeper from whom I've just bought a new DVD player, he cheated me. I bought this new DVD player for which he charged me rupees 6,912. And now I realize that its price is rupees 6,400 only. He charged me extra. He's like that Bunty from the movie Bunty and Bubbly.
Bunty and Bubbly. Oh, you and your comparisons, Snail. Now calm down and show me the bill. Show me. Snail, you forgot to add the sales tax.
Sales tax? What is that?
Why don't we zoom into the virtual world to find that out? Suppose you purchase a computer at a sale price of rupees 40,000. The shopkeeper gives you a bill and charges rupees 43,200. That is an additional amount of 3,200 rupees which is charged as tax. Such tax imposed on purchase of items is known as sales tax. Sales tax is always charged as a percentage of the sale price of an item. Here, 3,200 is 8% of 40,000 rupees. So, the rate of sales tax charged by the shopkeeper is 8%.
So that means the shopkeeper was not Bunty.
No, he wasn't, I think.
But still, he should have told me while making the bill.
He would have, but I think you would have been busy eating.
Eating? Oh, that reminds me. I'm hungry. Can I have something to eat, please?
No food while we talk, Snail.
But then I will not be able to concentrate.
God, Snail, you're like an old car that gives poor average and eats a lot of fuel to cover even a small distance.
Old car.
Stop laughing and eat those bananas there.
Miss Marks, I suddenly remember 2 days back I went to a restaurant and the guy there, he also charged me more than the price of the food I ate. I ate just 5 pastries, shakes and...
Oh, Snail, please. I don't want to know the catalogue of what you ate.
Oh, so I mean to ask, did he also charge sale tax from me?
Yeah, sort of. But this tax is known as service tax instead of sales tax. Service tax is charged by the service providers like restaurants, banks, and even educational institutes.
Oh, but you know, the restaurant guy and the shopkeeper does not charge the same percentage as extra charge.
That's because the rate of sales tax and service tax differs. Even rate of sales tax is different for different products. Let's understand this in detail. It can be generalized that when the rate of sales tax and sale price are given, then sales tax is equal to rate of sales tax into sale price upon 100. This further implies that rate of sales tax is equal to sales tax upon sale price into 100. And sales tax of an item is always calculated on its sales price. Also, the amount paid by you for the computer is equal to its sale price plus sales tax charged on it. This helps us to conclude that the total amount to be paid while purchasing an item is equal to sum of its sale price and the sales tax charged on it. You lazy kid, you're sleepy again. Come on, switch your power on and concentrate on tax.
Oh no, Miss Marks, I was not sleepy. Was just a bit tired. There is so much to see. So...
A bit tired? You're acting like my iPod does when it's almost out of battery. Now buck up.
Okay, actually I wanted to ask something. I was wondering, where does all this money collected from sales tax go? Who keeps it? Who watches movies and eats candies from our hard-earned money?
Oh, Snail, it's the government that charges the tax to collect money. Government also needs money to run the country. Like you take pocket money from your parents to meet your expenses. So all this money is spent on us only. Nobody eats candies from your money.
Spent on us? But how?
Let's take a quick tour to the virtual world to answer that question. Interested to know why sales tax is being charged? Sales tax charged by the government adds to their revenue, and this revenue is used by the government for development in various fields like infrastructure, education, medical facilities, etc. The rates of sales tax depend upon the nature of goods purchased and are different for different items. Certain items like rice, wheat, seeds, and essential items like life-saving drugs, etc. are exempted from sales tax. So, Snail, now you know that it's the sales tax that gets us those smooth roads to drive our fancy cars on, huh? I need to restart him, I guess, like my comp. So, Snail, you know who started the idea of taxation?
No. Who started it and when?
Now let's check that in our Do You Know section. Do you know that the history of taxation is very old? A research suggests that all historical leaders and head countrymen collected taxes to run the place they were ruling. But at that time, the process of levying and the manner of tax collection was unorganized.
When did this start in India?
Good question, Snail. The concept of taxation in India is old. It's mentioned in many ancient books like Manusmriti and Arthashastra. There were both direct and indirect taxes. Research also shows the existence of a large and composite taxable population in the ancient time.
So, a lot of money for the ruler then?
Yes. During the Mughal rule, the taxation system became more homogeneous in structure and collection. But it was the British who brought a remarkable change in our entire taxation system.
How?
They incorporated modern and scientific method of taxation tools and systems, although it was highly in favor of British government. In 1922, for the first time in the country, an administrative system and taxation system was set up.
That was long.
Now, Snail, it's time for you to take a quick jog. I mean a memory jog. So, let's go and see what all we have learned today. Time to hit the reverse gear. In this module, you have learnt that tax imposed on purchase of items is known as sales tax. Sales tax is equal to rate of sales tax into sale price upon 100. Rate of sales tax is equal to sales tax upon sale price into 100. Sales tax is always calculated on sale price. Total amount of bill is equal to sum of sale price and the sales tax charged. Sales tax charged by the government adds to their revenue. This revenue is used by the government for development in various fields like infrastructure, education, medical facilities, etc. The rates of sales tax depend upon the nature of goods purchased and are different for different items. Certain items like rice, wheat, seeds, and essential items like life-saving drugs, etc. are exempted from sales tax. Snail, have I shown you my new phone?
No!
Come see this.
Wow, nice. Wait, I remember you would have paid sales tax on this one.
Not bad, Snail, huh? So you paid some attention to today's sessions. Very good. Nowadays, sales tax is renamed as value added tax or VAT. It's included in the MRP only. I hope you also enjoyed learning about sales tax, which plays an important role in our life.
Nowadays we are using the tax GST. Dear students, what do you mean by GST? Yes, let us study some informations about GST.
Have you ever thought who pays the electricity bill for the street light? Who maintains these roads, gardens, schools? From where do the cops and soldiers who work for our safety get paid? And who is taking the responsibility of the hospitals where treatments are free or are done at a very low cost? Those scientific labs and scientists who are making new discoveries and research for our country. Just think that if these things were not there, just imagine a month without all of these. For proper functioning of these things, a huge amount is needed. But from where does the government get this money? How do they manage things? So here, tax comes into the picture. Now what exactly is this term tax? It is a small amount or contribution towards all the above said things which directly or indirectly come back to us. Taxes are collected by government from two modes. A tax that is directly paid by an individual or an organization on their income is called direct taxes. This tax collection is based on the ability to pay principal, which means higher income groups will pay more taxes. In the second case, every individual pay tax on the goods and services that they use. For example, buying any food item, electronics, vehicles, etc. The amount paid by us is the sum of the price of the product and tax applied on it. The same is applicable while using any services like staying in a hotel or traveling via plane. These taxes are not directly paid by the consumer to government, but are paid through the person who provides us these goods and services. Hence, it is called indirect taxes. Earlier, there were many taxes in this category. Excise duty, custom duty, octroi, entertainment tax, luxury tax, VAT, etc. And rates of all those taxes in different states were different. So to make the entire tax ratio equal in all these states, to make it one nation, one market, one tax, a historic step after 69 years of the independence of India was taken, and now onwards there is only one tax in the category of indirect taxes in India called GST, Goods and Service Tax, with effect from 1st July 2017. India is not the only country having this system, but in many other developed countries, system of one tax already exists. So let's see the mechanism of GST and how it works. First of all, there are different GST slabs for different types of goods and services. And if we go to see in deep, things which are the basic necessities of a person comes under the slab of 0% GST. Means one does not have to pay any tax on those products or services. Raw foods and some other stuffs which are consumed by each and everyone comes under the slab of 5%, and gradually from basics to luxurious goods and services, slab percentage increases and maximum GST paid is 28%. Also note one thing, that the percentage of GST collected is equally distributed amongst the state and central government, which is termed as SGST and CGST. Now let's take an example and see how GST is collected by the government on a product. A product before reaching the consumer undergoes different stages of distribution. Suppose a manufacturer is selling a wristwatch for Rs 200 to the wholesaler, where the cost of the wristwatch is 150 and 50 rupees is manufacturer's profit. Now, wholesaler sells the same wristwatch to the retailer, or you can say to the shopkeeper, for Rs 250, taking his profit of Rs 50. And a consumer purchases the same wristwatch from the retailer at Rs 300. So the profit to the retailer would be, yes, 50 rupees. Every mediator is making a profit of 50 rupees in this case, but it need not be the same. This is the flow chart before GST is applied. Now we'll add GST to all these transactions. The process is very simple. Just remember, GST is paid by a buyer to a seller and indirectly reaches the government via sellers. Okay? So let's understand it step by step with the same example. The GST on wristwatch is 12%. Now, manufacturer will collect 12% of 200 from the wholesaler and give it to government, which is 24 rupees. Wholesaler will collect GST of 12% of 250 from the retailer, which is Rs 30. Now he has already paid 24 rupees to the manufacturer, so he will be paying the remaining 6 rupees to the government. Are you getting it? Alright. Similarly, the retailer will collect GST from the consumer, that is 12% of 300, which is 36 rupees. And again, as he has already paid 30 rupees to wholesaler, remaining 6 rupees will be paid to government. This process or series of people involved in trading of a product is called GST in trading chain. An interesting thing that can be seen over here is the total GST received by the government is the GST paid by the consumer. So here we understood how GST is applied on a product that we purchase using a simple example of wristwatch. A similar logic can be applied to in case of services. Let's practice a simple question and check the understanding of the concept. Mr. Rahul purchased a product of Rs 2000 and sold it to Mr. Jay for Rs 3000. GST is 5%. Find the GST payable by Mr. Rahul. So here GST payable refers to the amount payable to the government. Okay? Now, Rahul may be any of the mediator. For example, he may be wholesaler or retailer. And he purchased it for Rs 2000 by paying 5% GST, which is 100 rupees. And now he sold it to Jay for Rs 3000. So he will be collecting a GST of 5% on 3000, which is 150 rupees. So the GST payable by Mr. Rahul will be Rs 50.
Dear students, keep in memory all the important points about sales tax and how we are using that in different problems. Now we are going to just recall the important points and see more examples.
Taxes are charges that the government makes us citizens pay for money they earn or spend. The government then uses the money to pay all the government officers, all the leaders, and also build dams, roads, power stations, garbage dumps, etc. The government collects taxes in two ways. One is direct tax that you pay directly to the government. Income tax is a direct tax which you pay on the money you earn. You pay property tax on the property that you own. Another is an indirect tax that you pay depending on how much money you spend and what you spend it on. You keep paying indirect taxes when you spend money. The government collects a lot of money this way. We are paying indirect taxes all the time. When a carpenter buys wood from the wood dealer, he has to pay for the wood and a tax for buying material. The wood dealer takes the tax money from the carpenter and pays it to the government. When the carpenter makes a table using the wood, he has to put some effort into it. Now, the carpenter will obviously sell the table for some profit. What allows the carpenter to add profit? The effort that the carpenter has put into the wood to make it a finished product. So, the carpenter has added value to the wood when he made it into a table. When he sells the table to the furniture shop, he has to pay a tax on the added value. Now, the furniture shop has a nice display and has people to come and tell you how nice the table is so that you buy it. So the furniture shop adds more value to the table and they sell it to you at a higher price. When you buy this table, you pay for the table and you pay a tax on this higher price too. Check your bill if you have purchased any furniture or electronic items. You have paid for the item and you have paid a tax. These are taxes that we pay for goods. We even pay taxes on services that we receive. If you go to a salon and get a haircut, you pay for the haircut and you pay a tax for paying for the haircut. If you know any architect or chartered accountant or a lawyer or a tuition teacher, ask them if they charge their customers a tax for the services they render. Let's take a look at a word problem. A dining table costs Rs 20,500. If the tax on it is 10%, how much does the customer have to pay? Let's see what's given. Selling price is equal to Rs 20,500. Tax is equal to 10%. We have to find the cost to customer. The cost to customer is equal to selling price plus tax amount. Tax amount is equal to 10% of selling price, which is equal to 10 upon 100 into 20,500, which is equal to 2,050. Hence, cost to customer is equal to 20,500 plus 2,050, which is equal to 22,550. Therefore, the cost to the customer is Rs 22,550. Let's take a look at another one. Smita bought a fridge for Rs 37,450, which included 7% tax. Find the marked price of the fridge. Let's see what is given. Customer cost is equal to Rs 37,450. Tax is equal to 7%. We have to find the selling price. If the selling price is Rs 100, then tax is Rs 7. So, it costs Rs 107. Smita paid Rs 37,450. So, let's calculate the actual SP by cross multiplication. Therefore, SP is equal to 37,450 into 100 divided by 107, which is equal to 35,000. Therefore, the actual selling price of the fridge is rupees 35,000. Let's take a look at another one. Siley pays rupees 20 as GST on shoes that are being sold for rupees 250. What is the rate of GST? Let's see what is given. GST is equal to rupees 20. Selling price is equal to rupees 250. We have to find the GST rate. For the selling price of rupees 250, the GST is rupees 20. We have to find it for rupees 100. Therefore, by cross multiplication we get GST is equal to 100 multiplied by 20 divided by 250, which is equal to 8 per rupees 100. Therefore, the rate of GST is 8%. Did you understand how to solve problems based on taxes? Yes.
Now let us discuss some of the problems from your exercise 8.2. So let us see the question number 1 from the exercise.
The first question from the exercise 8.2. The first example is like this. A man got a 10% increase in his salary if his new salary is Rs 1,54,000. Find his original salary. So here actually his new salary is given and we have to calculate the older salary. That means how is the original salary, what is the original salary, that we have to calculate. And they had given the percentage increase, which is 10% of original salary. So for that purpose I am going to consider that original salary as a variable. So here the first step is that while considering the solution is to take the variable, and that variable is going to be original salary. So therefore let the original salary be M. Then it is given that the new salary is 1,54,000. So here we can say that the new salary is obtained like this. The original salary plus 10% of original salary, and then that addition is going to be 1,54,000. So therefore how we are going to describe it? Original salary, which is M, then plus increment, which is 10% of M, and then their addition is going to be new salary. So just put down the values here. Original salary is M, then increment is 10% of M. That means we have to convert that percentage into ratio by dividing it with the help of 100. Then we are getting it like this. See here, original salary is M, then increment is 10% of M, means 10 upon 100 into M. So what I had done, I had converted this percentage into the ratio by dividing it by 100, and then M, because 10% of M, so of means multiplication, and then we are getting 1,54,000. Then here 1 0 can be cancelled. So here M plus M by 10, that is going to be 11M upon 10. M plus M by 10, that is going to be 11M upon 10. Now just transpose 11 to other side and 10 to other side, and their operations are going to be reversed. So here M is equals to 1,54,000 into 10 divided by 11. So after dividing these particular number 154 divided by 11, then 154 divided by 11 is 14, because see that 11 ones are 11, remainder is 4, 44. So 11 fours are 14, and those remaining 3 zeros as it is. So here we are going to get the 14,000 into 10. So just add 1 0 in front of 14,000, then it will become 1,40,000, which is the M, value of M, and we know that M is original salary here. So therefore we can say that the original salary of that man was 1,40,000 is the original salary. So in this way, with the help of percentage increase, we had calculated the original salary. So here,
Hope all of you understood the first question. Now we are moving on to the question number 2 of the exercise 8.2. All of you listen very carefully and copy the notes.
next question number 2 from the exercise 8.2. In the previous lecture we had considered the example number 1, which is a word example. Now second is also going to be word example. Now it is very simple. Again we have to calculate the percentage decrease. That type of example is there. Previous example we had taken percentage increase. Here percentage decrease is there. Now on Sunday 845 people went to the zoo. So in particular city, one zoo is there where 845 people went to that zoo on Sunday, because Sunday is a holiday. So that's why most of the people went to that zoo. How many people went to that zoo? 845 people. Then on Monday, now as there was no holiday on Monday, there is no holiday on Monday. So that's why only 169 people went to that zoo. Only 169 people went to that zoo. So here we have to calculate what is the percentage decrease. So I told you that here we have to consider percentage decrease. So what is the percent decrease in the people visiting that zoo on Monday? So that percent decrease we have to calculate. Now for that purpose we should calculate how many people were decreased, exactly what is the number, and how to calculate that. We have two numbers. The first number is that people who are visiting on Sunday, and second number is that people who are visiting on Monday. So just subtract the value of Monday from the Sunday, then we are going to get the next, that means the number of people who are decreased. So here suppose we are going to subtract it. So therefore decrease in number of people 845 minus 169. So by performing this subtraction we are going to get the answer, which is for the decrease in number of people on Monday. So exact number we are going to get. Now the next thing we have to calculate the percent decrease. Now we obtain the number, but we have to calculate it in a percent. So that's why we have to multiply it by 100. So we have to multiply that ratio with 100, then we are going to get the percent decrease. So in order to calculate the percent decrease, we have to take the formula decrease in number of the people, then denominator will be number of people who went to zoo on Sunday into 100. That will be the percent decrease, because we have to compare it with Sunday. So that's why number of people decreased is on numerator, and with whom we are comparing, that is on denominator. So therefore we are getting it like decrease in number of people into 100 divided by number of people who went to zoo on Sunday. Now just put down the value. The number of people decreased is 676. So just put down that value. Then 100 is going to remain as it is. Then number of people went to that zoo on Sunday, that is 845. So we are getting it 676 into 100. So that we are getting, and here actually we are going to divide it in parts. So first we are going to divide 100 by 5. So 25 is 100, then 845. So 5 1s are 5, 5 6 are 30, and 5 9s are 45. Then 676 upon 169. So that is going to be 4, because if we are going to divide it by 13 twice, then we are going to get 4 as a remainder, as a quotient. Then we are getting the final product 4 into 20, which is equals to 80%. So 80% is the final percentage decrease. So here how you are going to calculate this division? 676 divided by 13. This is the first division. Okay, so 13 5s are 65, remainder is 2, then 13 2s are 52. Again here actually 169 is there, so again here 13 1s are 13, 13 4s are 52, so we are getting 4 into 20, which is 80%. So here 80% is the percent decrease in people which are visiting on Monday to that particular zoo. So here is the answer. So in this way we can calculate the percent decrease also. In the last case we had considered percent increase, from that we had calculated value, and here value is given, from that we had calculated the percent decrease.
Now dear students, we are going to see the question number 6 from the exercise 8.2. All of you listen carefully and then copy the notes and complete all the notes properly what is told in this video. Now listen this problem carefully. Hope all of you understood the previous two problems. Now we are going to see the sixth question from the exercise 8.2.
With the question number 6, which is very easy one, and then we are going to see how to solve that example. Now if you want to see the previous examples, then the link will be given in the description, so you can watch those videos also. Now here we are going to start the next question, which is question number 6. Now first we will see what is the question. Now during a sale, one sale is there. You all are familiar with the sale, like 10% say discount is there, or 20% discount is there, like this. So sales are there, and during the festival season that sale is more. That means most of the shopkeepers are keeping the sale, so they are offering the discount. So here during a sale, a shop offered a discount of 10%. How many discount they are applying? How much discount they are applying? 10% discount they are applying on a marked price of all the items. That means whatever be the items are present in that shop, on all the items, that means marked price of all the items, the discount is 10% during that sale. Now what would a customer have to pay for a pair of jeans, marked at Rs 1450 and two shirts marked at rupees 850 each? Okay, so the customer is buying something. So suppose he is buying a pair of jeans. See the word here, pair of jeans. That means two jeans are cost for, that means their marked price is Rs 1450. Not a single jeans, that is a pair of jeans. And here two shirts marked at Rs 850 each. Okay, so two shirts are there, each having the value 850. So you have to double it. Now we are going to consider the solution. We have to calculate the final price. What should be the final price that customer should pay? That means here you have to decrease this discount 10% from whatever be the marked price is there. Now suppose I will calculate the total marked price for pair of jeans, that means two jeans and two shirts, which is marked at 850 each. So pair of jeans having the value 1450, so there is no need to multiply, but each shirt having the value 850. So here how many shirts he is buying? Two shirts he is buying. So 2 into 850, that multiplication you have to perform here, and then you have to add it to the 1450. So here 850 into 2, that is going to be 1700. Into that you have to add 1450, and their addition is going to be, you can perform the addition, that addition is going to be 3150. See here, 0 plus 0, 0, 5 plus 0, 5, 4 plus 7, 11, 1 is there, 1 is remainder, 1 plus 1, 2, plus 1, 3. So 3150 is the total mark price for pair of jeans as well as 2 shirts. Now here it is given that the discount percentage is 10%. Discount percentage is 10%. Okay. So therefore we know that how to calculate the discount. So discount is calculated with the help of formula discount is equals to RS discount percentage divided by 100 into marked price. Okay. Discount percentage divided by 100 into marked price. Okay. So here actually we had converted this percentage into ratio by dividing it 100. So what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the discount value. So how we are going to calculate it? 10% of 3150. So of means multiplication. So 10% into 3150, and afterwards we are converting that into the ratio by dividing it with the help of 100, because we have to cancel that percentage sign. And if you want to convert it into percentage, then we are multiplying it. So just remember these 2 steps. Now here you can cancel the 0, 1 0 from 10 and 100, that can be cancelled. Then remaining 0 will cancel with 0 which is in the 3115. So here only the remainder is 315 is the remainder, and which is the discount. So that shopkeeper is giving the discount of Rs 315, and we can also calculate the discount by using another formula, which is marked price minus sale price, that means SP, whatever with the SP is there. And here we have to calculate the SP, that means for how much money that customer should have to pay. So that is the sale price. So it can be calculated like this. I had kept the discount, which is 315. I had kept the marked price, which is 3150, and I have to calculate the sale price. So I will shift this sale price to the LHS and 315 to the RHS. So sale price becomes positive and Rs 315 becomes negative. So I will get it 3150 minus 315, and that subtraction is going to be Rs 2835. So therefore we can say that customer will have to pay rupees 2835 during that sale when he is buying a pair of jeans and 2 shirts at a discount of 10%. So in this way we are able to calculate the SP by using the discount percentage.
Now there is a homework question for you from exercise 8.2, question number 3. All of you copy the notes and after you complete this homework. So dear students, complete all the notes and homework also, revise your notes, and if you have any doubt related to the topic, we can discuss in the Zoom meeting. Hope all of you understood. So practice well all the questions and answers. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.